hooky la, hooky 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 la.
Oh, we're going to the Harmontown. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Meltdown. In Hollywood, California, Harmontown is in session. Won't you welcome to the stage the mayor of Harmontown, Mr. Dan Harmon.
Yeah. All right. Happy St. Patrick's Day aftermath, right? You're a little hungover, Jeff?
I
assume?
got pretty drunk last night.
Yeah.
I spent the entire day on the couch overeating and watching David Attenborough animal documentaries.
Aaron and I, coincidentally, have been watching a lot of the John Hurt, what's it, Human Planet? It's the one that John Hurt narrates, I think. In the beginning of the title sequence, he goes, "There's only one animal that makes total use of the whole planet and does whatever it wants." Something like that. That's not really... It's better written than that. But I always, at the end of it, I compulsively have to go, "Me, John Hurt." Just thought I'd share that with you. It's kind of it's interesting. I thought I knew mostly everything about like why I should be proud of people and being one of them, like because usually you're being told by the television to be ashamed of being human, you know, and there's a lot of reasons to be ashamed if you want to dwell on that. For instance, we rape people, we murder each other, we're destroying the whole thing, whatever. We're doing all kinds of terrible things to ourselves and each other. So I like to, and I always find it ironic and heroic to try to focus on, like, yeah, but kind of a cool, like, awkward, like, monkey species that sort of, like, you know, rose to prominence, and there's an underdog story there. But I thought I
a long time ago.
I thought I kind of, well, no, not really, not at all, not in the time scale that matters. Not if you're telling that story. If you're telling a story about species, we are in the opening of the third act of the Bad News Bears. We're not even. It's not like if you know.
But the Bad News Bears lose that game.
I never saw it. I don't know. But we're watching this John Hurt like thing, Human Planet. There's like these guys. I'm assuming it's in Africa. I think that's where lions are. They just like they get food by waiting for lions to attack like an animal, like a gazelle or something, and then they have this technique, like John Hurt tees it up and goes, "They've got an interesting technique, but first they have to wait for the lion to make its kill." And I'm like, okay, what is there going to be some weird thing, like a fishing pole and then like a $20 bill on the end of a line?
It's not Vincent Price narrating that?
Yeah, no, it's not. It's John Hurt. And I don't do an impression of either of them, so I can understand your confusion.
These are the guys that just sneak up and just scare the lions off.
No, they don't. Well, okay, I want to stress that they don't sneak up. The whole thing is they just roll up. Like yeah, they kind of like walk up like they're going to get a paper, and then part of the gimmick of this show is like all these people that you're visiting around all the corners of the earth, they all have their own language. You don't know what the hell they're saying, and that these subtitles. These kind of like, they're modern subtitles because they kind of float. They're keyframed a little bit. They float a little bit. They float a few pixels to the right as the people are saying them. But the weird thing is, none of the people, like if these subtitles are actual translations, that America is the only place that has any linguistic nuance at all. Everyone everywhere else, if there's a guy climbing a tree to get to honey, he only ever says like, I found bees up here with honey. There's lots of honey in here. Like, that's what he would say to his friends after 20 years of doing this. He doesn't have any fucking like lingo, you know?
We did it again, hotshot.
Yeah, like come on, baby.
Booyah.
Yeah, Daddy needs a new pair of shoes. Like we should be asking ourselves when we see the subtitles, what the fuck's going on? Even though it's translated in English, still, I get it. He's been doing this for a while. But everyone just keeps going. There's the line. There's the lions. Now we make our move. And these guys, two guys, and they just stand up out of the bushes. And there's 20 lions, and they're like they have blood on their faces because they're just mushing their faces into dead gazelle and just eating it. Some of them have manes and the other ones don't, and like there's just, I think there's some significance there among them. But the point is, like, picture
totally
any
random.
kind of lion, picture anything. These aren't scrawny lions. These are like zoo lions. These are big, fat, fucking scary, giant lions, and like the kind you would get a wax sculpture of out of a machine. And there's 15 of them. 15 of them.
What machine dispenses wax lions?
That's not a universal thing?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, the Milwaukee County Zoo had these machines. I assumed that was a regular thing. I'm sorry. Go to the Milwaukee County Zoo. It's actually
the machine makes a wax lion.
They have a machine. They used to anyway at the Milwaukee County Zoo. There was a machine almost every exhibit, almost like every kind of category. Like there was a penguin, and there was a lion, there was a giraffe. Like if you went there, they kind of draw you in and put a quarter in or a dollar. I'm sure it inflated, but when I was a kid, it was a machine that would. Really, none of what I'm about to tell you is going to make a lot of sense to modern ears. But this was before the internet, and also before I hit puberty. So I guess it made sense to me. There was a big machine, and you put coins in it. And it was kind of transparent what it was doing. It had a lot of tubes and metal things in it. And it would you would put enough coins in it, and it would go, and these metal things would come together, and then like colored wax would plastic would go through these tubes into this thing. And it would drop a hot, dangerous, melted plastic lion into a tray that the machine very specifically told you, a la McDonald's giving you an apple pie. Like, your fault if you... somebody in the front row is holding... gave me a picture of one that he Googled. So they would... try to enjoy the show. Stop Googling.
So it's an injection molding machine that makes you a lion, or
it's a hot hot plastic injection, as Judd Nelson would say.
Do you want to get a hot plastic injection later on?
Did he give you the hot plastic injection? Leave me alone. See this? This is what you get when you spill paint in the garage. Your dad molds a plastic giraffe on you. It very specifically tells you how you're allowed to hold it, because there's holes in the bottom of it, and that's where the plastic goes. Like, that's the umbilical point for the mother plastic machine. And if you hold it the wrong way, ostensibly melting molten plastic would drip on your child hands,
right?
Rendering them forever claw-like. You would become like this weird, like, self-loathing phantom of the zoo, feeding goats out of your weird, useless flipper. Come here. I'm here because I have to be. I once came because I loved it. Now I have nowhere else to go. No woman will touch me in the parking lot. I've turned into Peter Lorre. I took on a weird accent that can't be traced. It can't be traced. Rick!
Stimpy!
Stimpy, where am I from, Stimpy? Anyways, not to go. Tonight's going to be a tangent-free night. I don't want to get off on any.
Tonight's show is called Focus.
So, when I tell you there were 20 lions burrowing their faces into this kill-out, because I used that handy reference to that plastic molding machine,
right.
You guys know exactly what I mean by 20 lions.
I had completely forgotten what you were talking about.
But imagine this, too. Here's the thing about lions in the wild. They're kind of getting, no pun intended, I guess pun intended, but also not, no pun celebrated. They're getting catty with each other, like they're eating the gazelle. I said not celebrated, lady.
Were they getting
I couldn't have put a bigger disclaimer on it. I connected the dots. I proceeded as usual. I did everything I needed to do. I got in the airlock. I took a deep breath. I told everyone what was happening. I said catty, and some lady, It's a pun. I know it's an accident. Fuck it. You know, like I'm not gonna censor myself. So these lions, like they're eating and they're in a mode, you know, like they're at a point in their day and their lives where even another lion is pissing them off. They're like, this is good, femur muscle, and someone's like, is the muscle good? You want to try some of the spleen? And it's like, I know you're just saying that because you're gonna want the femur muscle, you know, like I don't know, I don't want the spleen. If I wanted the spleen, I wouldn't have started eating the femur muscle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is that only my pet peeve? Like when you go to eat with your girlfriend and like she's like, yeah, how is the duck? And you're like, the duck's fine. And I just in my head I just see the chess game of yeah, you want to try the duck, but and then you don't bite on it because you come from a family of poor people that guarded their food. So then they go, God, this chicken. Oh, you want to try some of the chicken? No, I don't want to try the chicken. I know it's a fucking setup. You want to get into a food exchange where the net result is you get my duck, but I ordered right. I win dinner.
So when you
take your losses, eat your chicken.
When you watch a documentary about lions over a carcass, you connect the dots to you having dinner with your girlfriend?
No, I just connected those dots now. What I'm telling you is that, well, in order to explain to you what the state of affairs of these lions grazing over this gazelle, like they're not being polite. They're not lulled into a state of graciousness.
Right.
These are lions at the height of their lionness. They're like so mad that another lion could, but they're like going, you know, I'm eating. So into that fray marches these two fucking idiots with like blankets for shirts. They got nothing. They don't have like special lion guns or like rocks that they know make a lion choke.
They have like sticks, and what they have is eye contact, and they just start walking up.
Just a gate, just a GAIT gate. Like they just stand up from the bush and they just go like they don't make a sound. They don't go like, hey, lion. They don't go whoop 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 whoop. Nothing like that. They just silently walk up like.
Well, they used to carry a GATE gate and just make it seem like they were separated.
Yeah, they just slowly pretend like they live there. Oh, another piece of junk mail. Oh, hey, what are you guys doing in my front yard? They slowly change their address by one digit. No, they walk, and the fucking 15 lions, they bone out. Yeah. They all go like,
these guys mean business.
And these guys like quickly carve off, and then John Hurt goes like, they have to work quickly because the lions will catch on to their bluff. They bluff. The lions will catch on to their bluff. Hey, wait a minute. Those are upright walking primates.
You know
that's more food that just stole our food.
You know that you're hungry when you're chasing lions off a kill. Like you have to be starving.
And they're like, and then they sling it over their shoulder like they're walking out of a deli, like a bad deli, because a good deli would give you a bag, but this is Africa. Like they just went Christmas tree shopping. They just,
yeah, I think they don't run off. They just cruise out like.
No, they're like just walk away, and then they go, and then they're like around a campfire, and then the subtitles say like, "We got lucky with those lions today." They didn't know they could have eaten us.
Yeah, that could have gone totally bad.
They'll do it again next Wednesday. But the I'm very impressed with human beings. Then there's another one where there's like these God damn it, what is it? It's hey Aaron, what is it with the was it pigeons or something in the trees? What's the thing in
birds?
There's those birds that I don't want to spoil the ending. You know what I'm talking about?
The storm of birds that like eat all the.
Yeah. Okay. There's like these locust-like birds. They're basically like the avian equivalent of locusts, and they like eat everything. So and it's just sort of, again, it's just these guys that just hang out. They're like, but now these are birds that'll eat their crops. So like, but the humans have developed a different solution to the bird problem. At the end of the night, the birds must go home to their nests, where the humans have prepared a rather clever trick. They just show them like unspooling what looks looks like cable. I'm
Yeah.
like, wait, this isn't. They're not smearing dung on their heads, and like this isn't a symbiotic relationship. Those look like canisters of gasoline, and then they just show like A-teaming, like he's rigging these trees, and then it's like a joke. It's like a British sitcom or something. Like the birds all fly into their nests, and then it cuts to a wide shot, and they go, the entire forest explodes, and then they move on to the next subject. On the shores of Scotland, humans love to ride segways. It doesn't. There's no. He doesn't comment on it. It's nothing like human beings. That plucky species. Will just blow. These birds are getting out of hand. It just blew up the forest. They'll have to do it again next Wednesday. Very interesting species, and I think it's important to embrace it and say, you know what, you're all right, humanity. You're all right.
If you could be another animal, like in terms of like,
I would kill myself. I would be a suicidal porpoise. I would purposely go out of my way to find the places where people dispose of those six-pack rings, and not cut them responsibly, so I could hang myself.
Because you have a choice. Are you a predator, a scavenger, a victim, a herbivore, a carnivore?
I mean, can I be an autotroph? Can I be a photosynthetic kind of just like mushroom?
No, animal.
I have to be a mammal?
Animal. Well, no, it could be an insect, bird.
Okay,
yeah.
all right, okay. I think I would. Boy. I mean, there's hundreds of species in the world.
You know who seems like they got it right?
20 of them undiscovered.
Manatees. They cruise around, they graze on grass, and nobody eats them because they're too big and fat, and no one fucks with a manatee. They just fucking cruise around.
Yeah, well, there is stuff like that, like at the top of the food chain. That's nice. Like,
but they're herbivores. They're vegetarians, and nobody eats them because they're giant fat people.
Yeah. And why are you raising your hand, Jesus Diaz?
You got one?
I just quick comment on manatees. They get hit by propellers.
Well, yeah, they get hit by propellers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
They get like fins chopped off and stuff.
That's true.
I mean, I think the assumption is that you wouldn't have a manatee brain, right? You would be like Albert Brooks as a manatee, going like, oh boy,
yeah,
I'm neurotic about this. Like, and I would assume that you would see a propeller and go, I don't want none of that.
I wouldn't choose to be a neurotic manatee. I would choose.
I'm just saying.
I'd be Alec Baldwin as a manatee.
You'd have a voiceover. You'd have a celebrity voiceover. You'd be an intelligent manatee that had a kind of a dialogue with the audience. You'd be like, I'd be a Bruce Willis manatee. I'd be like, all things considered, I'd rather be at Philadelphia.
And those estuaries.
Yeah. Oh boy, look, a propeller for me? Fool me twice. Come to Miami, hang out in the channel. I would be, or you could be a Liam Neeson manatee.
I wonder what that might...
I'm sorry, no. I didn't mean to set myself up with one of my well-known impressions.